everybody. Welcome to... it's starting already. We haven't even gone anywhere. Welcome to One More with Danny Coleman. I'm Danny Coleman, and you're not, because I am. Welcome to One More with Danny Coleman. We're coming to you live right here at Monmouth Music in Red Bank, New Jersey. Mario DiBartolo, the owner of Monmouth Music, and my regular co-host here on One More with Danny Coleman. That's right.
Yeah, man.
The owner.
All right.
You're not going to throw us out again, right?
Nah.
Okay, good. We are sponsored this evening by Monmouth Music here in Red Bank. We're also sponsored by Antoinette Boulangerie, the people who have provided these amazing pastries here for our play. You can eat them, sir.
I know. It's just, I can't do it.
No. Gene?
You don't want me to have any
good.
sugar. That's all I need.
And also by the Downtown All-Stars of Red Bank, who just recently had their CD release back on February 22nd.
Yes.
For the Magic on the Navasink CD, which you fellas are part of.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You have a
It was a great night. Excellent
I'm
night.
sure it was. That's fantastic. My guest tonight, it's a really good time with everything you were telling me, Gene, before we went on the air, are Sal Marr and Gene Potts of Colossal Street Jam. Yeah.
All right.
No sugar for this one.
No sugar.
Better get away. I can smell the sugar. We got problems.
You know, it's kind of odd for years living next door to your mutual friend, Joe. You know, Joe would say to me, "Have you ever heard of Colossal Street Jam?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the name sounds familiar." And I wasn't real familiar with you guys. And then since you came on my radio program a couple of years ago, it's like you guys are everywhere. I can't open up a feed on Facebook or any without seeing Colossal Street Jam. And this is what now? Our third or fourth time sitting down here?
Yeah.
And talking. And honestly, it never gets dull.
No.
Trust me. You just rivet yourselves to your couch or your laptop or whatever it is you want to do there.
I see this guy every day. It never gets dull.
No, not with you. So, if there's anything after tonight's show, if you still want to watch, if there's anything that you wish to see here on One More with Danny Coleman, please email me at dcoleman.dreiss@gmail.com. dcoleman.dreiss@gmail.com. So, where do you want to start? You guys have had so much big stuff going on since the release of your disc.
Yep.
It's only been 3 months.
I know.
So it's been about 3.5 months.
Yeah.
So, and you've had some personnel changes, and you've
one addition.
We actually added.
Yeah, Eric Safka joined the band officially. He was playing live with us for a while, and he just joined officially. So he's on the record. His face is on the record, and it's been great. It's been great. We're writing with him. You know, we're not going to sit around and just wait. You know, this record came out 3 months ago. We want to put another one out by the end of the year.
Yep.
So we're starting to write, and we'll start recording after that. But going to hit some live shows, maybe get out of state. Well, we're definitely getting out of state. We have some stuff booked. But we're looking at getting to maybe Austin, California, looking at Florida. We have some options. So we're going to start moving.
So you're talking about a legitimate tour.
Well,
I wouldn't call it a tour.
Yeah.
I would call it, go do 3 nights somewhere, come home, maybe a couple weeks later.
I can't be trusted on a tour. No, I definitely can't be trusted on tours.
I'd kill him.
Oh, he would. I'd come back in the new CSJ body bag.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, not good. Not good. We already came back. We just came back from Puerto Rico. We went and did our little week in Puerto Rico, which we do every year.
Which you do annually,
and,
right?
Tell him how proud are you?
I was very proud of him. 5 gigs in 6 days.
But how proud are you?
I was very proud. He didn't drink during the day.
I didn't touch any alcohol till after 6 o'clock at night.
What time was the gig?
9.
9?
And he was good.
I didn't. All the fun happened between midnight and 6 in the morning. So I was on the Keith Richards time thing, which was, come home from the beach at 3 o'clock, nap till 7, get up, eat a little bit, drink and play music, then go up and have the big parties every night. It was great. I was like, if this was my life every week,
It would last about 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
That's it. You wouldn't have to
Would've
kill me.
been
I'd be
fun
dead
3
already.
weeks, though.
I'd be dead.
Now, I know because when I first hurt my back, which led to the development of my radio program and then to this, and I remember going to open mics and things to try to get, book guests for my radio program when I first started it. And I'd go out and I'd have a beer and say, hey, you want a beer? Hey, boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, you're 3 or 4 beers in, and you think, I don't have to get up tomorrow morning. You get home between 2 and 3 in the morning. You sleep till noon. I'm thinking, boy, I see how easy it is to fall into this rock star life.
Yeah.
So actually, where I live right now, there's a tour bus in my backyard that they're working on getting running at the Jocko Ranch.
Nice.
So, Mario, we can go on tour, bud.
Let's go.
We can drive them guys.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's do it.
3 days.
Actually, Eric's got a tour bus.
Yeah.
Is that his blue bus?
Yeah.
That's his bus. It's sitting
nice.
in his driveway right now. And we're
Nice.
like,
I remember when Matt O'Ree pulled up in the Colts Neck Rock Fair.
you're like, what's this? It even has its own diesel generator under it. So like you could drive out to like Yosemite, set up out in the middle of nowhere and run an entire show, lights, PA, the whole thing out off the bus. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So we could almost do like a Partridge Family on acid tour where we go out and we just we show up at like a schoolyard and bang, here we go, we're rock and roll. Be perfect. It's good for everybody. Have some pastries here. And who are they from?
Antoinette Boulangerie.
Oh, Boulangerie.
Yeah, see that?
I didn't
Can you use it in a sentence?
I didn't even have to come here tonight. I didn't. You just should have sent him.
Really?
Mary, what about the horse? We gotta get
I'm
to the
going to
horse.
talk about the horse. I told you we can never talk about the horse.
So, you guys go to Puerto Rico every year, and
Yeah.
you call it, what's it called?
It's actually
Rincon.
Rincon.
Yeah, it's on the far west coast of Puerto
Beautiful
Rico.
place.
Yeah.
And every year it keeps getting bigger.
Bigger and
getting
bigger.
bigger and bigger.
Yeah. We're called the legends out there now.
The locals actually come out
because
and see us now.
it's funny. We started with 4 of us, and then it went to 40 of us, and then it went to 50. But if you listen to the locals, we brought 150, 200 people. It's growing every year. But a lot of the locals are from around here, and they stay there for 6 months, or they just
sell everything.
Or just
go
said, you
and
know
live
what,
down
we're living in Rincon. So what happens is all these people from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania that are transplanted, they've seen us in Jersey or they've heard the name or whatever. They want to see what's going on. They come. So we may bring 40, 50 people, but there's 50 to 75 people that are
so
just
much fun.
hanging around locally that come to the show. So it makes it look like it's this crazy, insane party.
Now, where do you guys set up and play when you're there?
We play the Casa Verde Hotel. We stay at the hotel. We give a discount to the hotel to anybody that wants to come. And there's a bar there. Outside, it's like a tree house.
Okay.
So if it rains, it's a problem. But we play outside, and then we have a ton of musicians that come in and they sit in with us all
jams
night.
with us. It's
wow.
so much fun.
Yeah,
even
guys-
locals this year, a couple local girls that lived there came up and sang. They sounded
Local
great.
guitar player came and sang with
Yep.
us, and then we do this year we did a new place called the Calypso, which is one of the hottest spots to watch the sunset. It's also one of the hottest spots to surf.
Oh.
So the waves get like 20, 30 feet there.
It's great. Yeah, it's
So,
crazy.
and it's a cliffside bar. It's on a cliff overlooking everything. So we played there this year. We had a torrential downpour for an hour right
Good
before.
thing he doesn't drink piss.
Yeah, I know.
well, yeah.
Well, that night he couldn't do anything. We had a torrential downpour for about an hour before we went on, and we were just huddled because there's no windows. It's just all open. There's a roof, and that's it. So by the time we got on, everybody that was local just poured into this place. It was insane.
And they stayed. We had a great time that night.
Probably smelled good.
Oh yeah. Well, the cooking's real good, and then of course all the sweaty drinkers.
Yeah, nice.
It's like
We'll get to the horse later.
Yeah, the horse is gonna make it.
Yeah.
The head's coming out.
Yeah,
The horse-
it's coming. I
the
can feel it.
horse's head's gonna come
I
out.
can feel
Whoa!
I can feel it.
We're back January 29th next year.
January 29th?
It's always the
February
week
4th.
before the Super Bowl. We come home Super Bowl Sunday,
And the flight is 3 a.m. in the morning because there's only one flight in, one flight out.
that's it.
Oh, wow.
So we leave at
Can you
9
imagine what goes on? We go from our gig we finish at
Jesus.
midnight at our gig.
and go right to the
Pack up, go right to the
Fans pull up
airport.
to the bar, and everybody has their suitcases. We all jump in and we go to the airport.
that-
It is like the walk of like the zombies when we get to the airport.
Yeah, it's amazing no one's gotten thrown off the plane yet. But it's good.
But you know, never a bad problem on the airplane though. They like we get loud and stupid, whatever. But they're like, you know what? Never fighting, you guys. It's always the same.
We have half the plane, so
I was going to say the only guys on the plane at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And it's awesome. I mean, the group of people that come with us, and it's growing every year, are very nice and mellow. And a lot of them are musicians, and we don't cause a stink. So the hotel owner, he loves us. He's like, you guys can come here anytime. He goes, you don't ruin anything.
we sell it out.
We sell it out. I mean, every night.
What's not to like? Yeah.
Right? It's a win-win. Yeah. So, but you mentioned that you have friends that get up and jam with you in Rincon. And you were talking to me, Gene, about you're doing a Colossal Street Jam and Friends thing coming up locally here.
Yeah.
Right?
March 22nd. We're going to start at Teak Rooftop, right across the street. And it's 8 to 11. And it's a 3-hour show. We're going to do an hour of our stuff to start everything off. Then we'll take a small break, and then we'll come back with about an hour and a half.
Jam. Whoever wants to
come,
just come
and we'll have people
that's
set.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's not going to be like
you get to play with everybody.
When is it? March what?
March 22nd, Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's not.
We want to build this because we know what we have so many friends, that play, and it's like, you know what? Let's do it. In public. Why are we going to do it in some rehearsal room? Let's go do it.
It's not a jam night. It's going to be by invitation. Yeah. That way we're set. That way we know that Laura from Strumberry is going to come and do 2 Zeppelin songs.
Right.
That Alan from the Herd's going to come and do a couple Doors songs. And then other people. We've been playing with some great musicians. Going to try and get some of these other guys that are bigger names to come and sit in with us. So it's the start is March 22nd, and then we have a second date in May. If it does well, we'll maybe do it once a month, once every 6 weeks.
Yeah, promo material. I'll hang it up in the window.
Oh yeah,
we'll have
give me whatever you have.
Sure. Definitely, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That'd be cool.
Like I said, I want to get together with other guys and play. I mean, that is what it's all about. I mean, we do our own thing, but I like playing with people because for me, it's always a learning experience. You're never good enough. And that's as a musician, you have to think that way. So. I learn from everybody. There could be a guy who's only playing 3 chords. I'm going to find something he's doing that I don't do, and somehow bring it. Hey, he did that night. That was kind of cool.
It's funny how we all kind
Mary, we were
of
talking
steal
about the
from
whole
each
ruler
other.
on the hand thing.
Yeah.
Like being hard on yourself. I was saying, like our friend George Papa. We used to, him and I, when we were young, we'd do a gig. He'd be like, "You guys were fantastic." We'd be like, "That was great." He was like, "Second song, what happened?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know, you're right." Gig ends, we go back there with the ruler, whack! And we give each other whacks in the hands, and I'm telling you, welts, man. I wake up the next morning with a big welt. I'm like,
that was a big clam.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. You know what? It's that discipline, and we had a good time with it. But that's what I think has changed. Where I remember going to my guitar lessons when I was a kid with my little notebook, and when I left practice, when I left my lesson, Bruce Wacker, who we all know, would be like, "Sal, go home, just learn the stuff I showed you." And I'd go home and I would work hours and hours and hours. And then I did it for about a year and a half. And then I remember him saying to me, he's like, "Sal, you know what? Your work ethic as a guitar player is exactly where it needs to be. You're not going to be a sight reader. I can already see you're not going to be a guy who, you try to put the Mel Bay book in front of me." I was like, I'm like, this isn't going to be me. I don't want to be in the orchestra pit, like playing Oklahoma. No. And he said, "Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you the modes. I'm going to show you the scales, show you enough theory so you can play when you hear things. Then you need to go home and learn every single song that you love." And I literally spent like 3 years. It was the day of the album, the thumb on the album, slowing it down. What was that lick? And then I got smart. I used to record the cassette. But then on cassette, you go down, it goes flat. So then I got to tune my guitar down because when you go from album to cassette, it slows down the recording.
So you're telling us that you learned guitar trial and error.
Oh, yeah. And then I would just learn everybody else. I'm like, look, if Pete Townsend looked good doing this and he hit the right note, well, I'm going to do that too. So I learned from that. Like, I can't read or write music, but I understand theory. I know my modes. I know... you could put something on, I can hear, okay, it's in C major, and I can play. And I'm so thankful that Bruce picked that up early. He said, "You're not going to be a sight reader. So I've showed you what you need to know."
Now how does that go in? How does that play into Colossal Street Jam's music?
Well, if you turn me on to something, and you say, "Sal, listen to," let's just say, I'm going to go way out. Go home and listen to Humble Pie for 2 days. So I'll go home and I'll have my Pandora on or wherever, and I'll have Humble Pie going for 2 days. I can get in the mode of what I'm listening to for a few days and then start writing in that vein. And what's happening now is, now that I'm almost 50, had I been able to do this when I was 22, I probably would be, making mucho dinero. But I can sit down and I'm like, you know what, we need this kind of song. So I'll spend 2 days listening to, hey, I want a cool CSN type song. So I'll listen to for 2 days.
And then you bring it to...
I'll bring them rough ideas. I don't ever go in and say this is how...
Well, Gene, you do the lyrics, right?
Yeah.
Not all, but a lot off the newer stuff. But in the old days, Sal used to write quite a bit of it.
But I would just bring stuff. I'll throw him a sheet and say, I have some ideas.
Yeah, it was it was like the roundabout, and then I would say, all right, this is what he's writing this song about, and then I would finish it.
Exactly.
Or I would change this or that.
Because everyone has to have something.
Yeah, and now these days, especially on this new record, it's I really, in all the time off that we had, I found that I do enjoy writing lyrics.
Yeah. Now you guys took a break for quite a long time.
18
just
years.
About 20 years.
Well, yeah, but
But Sal and I have been doing stuff. We never stopped doing stuff together. It's just Colossal itself took 20 years, and then.
So who else is in the band, by the way?
Now,
Yeah.
The band is Tony Flora, original bass player.
On bass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the original bass player. Before I was even with Sal, Tony was in the band. And then we have Dave Halpern, and Dave plays with, he tours with John Eddy.
Oh, I know Dave.
you know Dave.
Yeah,
Dave's
so
a great guy. And
Dave's
great drummer.
our drummer. Yeah, and he's.
I ran into Dave at a picnic near my house. I go,
I know
we
you.
looked at each other, he goes, dude. Anyway, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No.
Dave's like
Dave's a nice guy.
Sal writes a lot of the stuff. Dave's kind of like the musical director, like kind of like this groove, this, I feel this, I feel that. Him and Tony work real well together now. Okay. It took some time, but now they're like a machine. And then, like I said before,
course, Zapka.
we added Eric. And
I haven't played with a Hammond organ player since probably I was 25. And
our original Hammond organ player was Al Recht.
was phenomenal.
There was a time where Colossal was a 5-piece, and it was George Papa, it was Al Recht, and there was the three of us, including Tony. And that was where we wanted the band to go, and then it just kind of
And he had the best gear. He used to come on stage with a Fender Rhodes, a Wurlitzer, with a clavinet on top.
And a B3? Really?
Full Hammond organ with the Les, the whole thing. He had an amazing
Strong
setup.
back.
Well, that too.
Well, he was a big guy too.
He was a big guy. He was taller
taller than me. He was taller than
But
me.
we used to have to rent a U-Haul just
For him.
for him. But nothing.
And then
would play-
but your equipment back then was pretty big too.
Well, I did stacks too back then. But
we had one roadie, this guy Bubba.
oh my god!
And
Bubba.
we kept him with us because he could pick everything up.
Yeah.
Bubba would be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, what do you mean? What am I doing?" He'd come over. This guy was huge.
Yeah.
He would just go over. He'd pick the piano up like this. And walk like, are you kidding me?
Walking for
End of the night, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him like his back's got
Even
hurt.
more important. at the end of the night.
Man, he was great. But back to the thing with the keyboards, having Eric brought that whole end that I lost years ago.
Yeah,
which
it feels like the old days again.
Yeah,
and that's why we're so inspired now. And now we're writing, and Eric's writing with us, which is
great.
a big plus. Right now.
That was going to be my next question. How big of a role is he playing?
Well, we just started writing the new record, and Sal just has come in with some.
I don't know Eric personally. I've been in the same room with him, but I've actually never met him.
He's something
But I
else.
have seen him perform.
Yeah, he's
And
great.
He's incredibly talented.
he
I know
is.
that.
He is. He's great. And I love his hat. He's got a Hammond, and he put in a device inside the Hammond where he can get piano, Rhodes. Oh yeah, it's all. So when he comes out with a Hammond organ with the Leslie, and then he can get all the sounds. You look at and you see a device inside his Hammond.
Wow.
He has the Fender Rhodes, grand piano.
In a B3?
Right in the B3.
Yeah.
So he's playing a B3, and all of a sudden you hear like a harpsichord. You're like, what? And he was able to put it. He's very good. He restores old organs, and he's very talented at that. So he put a MIDI system. He put it in there where he actually turned the Hammond organ into a portable keyboard.
that's cool.
So now you hear everything. He's playing a Leslie. It's a Leslie speaker, and then all of a sudden you hear Fender Rhodes, and you hear clavinet, and you're like, how's he get it?
Wow.
And I'm like,
He restores old organs.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Think he
We'll
can
get to
think
the
he can help
horse.
my liver?
Well, just back to him joining the band. it's just been a plus for us. And the live show is now gone crazy.
Oh, I know.
You know, I pace. I'm a pacer. I don't like to stand still. But to look to the left and this guy's going in circles, and then I look to the right and he's got his Hammond organ like on an angle.
Emerson. He's putting it down to the ground, playing it. I'm like,
this is great. It's pretty wild. And then you got the two guys behind us just holding it down.
Actually, the first time I ever encountered Eric Safka was at a Bitter End show that he did with, the Vagabond Souls. When he was playing with them, they're from Tennessee, but he.
I remember they wanted him to join like full, and he was.
They were a great band, them guys. Just like these pastries, Sal.
Here we go.
Here we go. Antoinette Boulangerie specializes in creating delicate and sophisticated
that is awesome.
works of art using only the highest quality ingredients. Located at 32 Monmouth Street, right next door here, in the heart of downtown Red Bank. They're a fully operational bakery with all baking done on the premises daily. In addition to their handmade variety of croissants and Danish,
looks great.
Antoinette's also offers a dizzying array of traditional French pastries, macaroons, cookies, and savory treats. Savory treats, Nash.
Savory treats.
Savory.
Savory treats.
We'll have to have some of them later. There's a reason why
For the
I'm dressed
birthday
like
boy.
this. That's right. There's a reason why I'm dressed like this. Find us at AntoinetteBoulangerie.com. So now you guys got this whole new Colossal Street Jam.
Yeah, whole new life.
And we were talking prior to going on the air. By the way, if you're just clicking on, this is One More with Danny Coleman. I'm Danny Coleman. That's Sal, and that's Gene, two of the members of Colossal Street Jam, who are enjoying revived success.
Yeah.
And this is Mario, owner of Monmouth Music,
Yeah.
Mario DiBartolo. And you were saying how, we just decided to do this CD just for us, to get our, something you wanted to do, and all of a sudden it just bang.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever expected anything like this. We really, when we had talked about, Sal and I played together a lot, doing cover stuff, acoustic stuff. And we always talked about doing something, again, with the guys. And it just happened to be the anniversary of the first CD, or the last CD, I should say, that we put out. And just said, what, let's get together. So it just started out just getting together and jamming, the four of us. And then we started writing. And then it just kept going. And then we put the record out, and people are listening to it. And it's getting international radio play. And then local radio stations are picking it up. It's still... Every day that I see another review or another station picking it up, I kind of laugh to myself. Like, what happened?
Where were they when I was 25?
That's the whole thing. But
it's okay.
Well, how do we find that music? How do we get that CD? How do we find Colossal Street Jam? What are your social media websites?
ColossalStreetJam.com. Then we're on Facebook, and Facebook.com/Colossal Street Jam. CD Baby has... Yeah, CD Baby has the record at cdbaby.com/Colossal Street Jam. But there's also iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. It's all up on all that. And then, as Sal said, we have a Reverb Nation site, which the record's up there too. And that streams, that's a streaming site, so you can listen to the whole record.
Right. Well,
it's more important about getting the music out. I mean, it's for us, we're just looking to get it out.
Well, since you reunited, which has been a few years now.
3.
Yeah, which is, when I first encountered you, because Laura said to me, Danny, you got to have these guys on your show. I was like, you know what? Between Laura and Joe, I'm like, I got to find out about Colossal Street Jam. And I'm glad I did, because,
it's great.
Any time spent with you three, or you two guys, is always a blast. It's always enjoyable. Kind of like when we hang out.
Yeah, just like it.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, can everybody see that the table's moving?
Is it?
Because he's shaking it because he wants to run around in circles.
I'm dying to run around inside. I got yelled at this rehearsal the other night.
I yell at him all the time.
I'm like, guys, I can't control. I'm 15 years old. The minute I get a guitar on and I'm on stage, I am 15 years old, and it'll never change. And people think it's an act. It's not. It's not. I probably should have been on Ritalin, and they didn't. And I thank my parents every day for not putting me on Ritalin, because this energy that I've harnessed in my body is out of control, and I'm going to be 50
He's
years
like
old.
the Energizer Bunny.
I'm out-
Seriously. He just goes.
I worked all day today, and then I went home. I played guitar for an hour and sang. I said, "We're going to Danny's. I want to be warm. I want to." And I'm thinking,
People think it's funny. They come to see us, and especially in the cover thing, and usually this is me.
yeah.
They just say it. Or I'm rolling my eyes, or I'm making a face like I can't believe he's doing this.
Well, the
right
first time you guys were ever on Rock on Radio,
now. I
right?
want to kill him.
Oh my God.
Him and
Oh, Cal.
And Cal.
I love.
My
what did
good
we say
buddy
at the
Cal
beginning?
Short.
We said no politics,
No politics
no
or religion.
and this what do we do the last half an hour? And
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like
He
to
was
go back.
talking about all the health food.
Yeah,
now.
the graviola, the HCC.
I'd like to
pills.
go back and watch that and just.
At one
I think
point-
you and I both had our heads down like this.
At
I
one point,
love it.
Gene and I just got upset. That's it.
I saw Cal at the where was it? We did the Strand Theater. What was the event for the Strand Theater? Remember back?
That was a fundraiser for Christmas, around Christmas time. Yeah.
And I saw Cal, and you know what? What a sweetheart. And I hadn't seen him since the radio interview.
Yeah, that was the first time
And
we did. It was 2 years.
I
2 years
grabbed
ago.
him, and he is tall. Like, I didn't realize when him sitting down, I'm like, maybe he's sitting on a book or something, you know? But when I got behind him, and I'm like,
Yeah,
Cal.
he's like 6'5", 6'6".
wow.
Big,
And he's such a sweetheart. He is a sweet person.
He's got more energy at his age because he's like 70 years old.
yeah,
He's got
yeah.
more energy.
Yeah,
at
he
his
loves
age
he
than
loves
I have.
Rutgers.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Every day, there's posts.
Yeah.
And I forget where we're going with this now. The thought train has been derailed.
It's okay.
But when you guys first came on the show, and you guys went off on that. That was pretty funny.
Oh, I
but
had a great time with him.
that was the beginning of the relationship that we now,
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago.
that we now have. Yeah, and I'm glad that I found out about you guys. Because,
thanks, man.
Thank you.
The
And
music
thank you for
is-
having us.
The music is great. You got to see these guys on stage, Mario. They put on a great stage show. It's high energy. It's great music, and you've got a pretty rabid fan base in the area.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
growing. It's been real good.
We've been told that 50 of our people drink like 300. And bar owners and club owners love that talk. And it's not just talk. Proof's in the amount of snapped new bottles of Jack Daniels when we play. And
We should have a Jack Daniels endorsement. We definitely
We
should.
probably should.
Yeah.
You know, they gave it to Sinatra, right?
Jack Daniels, the official booze of Colossal Street Jam. And me.
You know, I think the most thrilling thing I think right now, and when we were talking about doing what we did last week, that the Magic on the Now.
Oh, that was awesome.
And
Yeah,
we
how
did
was
that.
that? You
And that
said
was
it was
great.
great.
That was great. It was a good turnout, and they raised quite a bit of money. He loves the song "I Can't Take It," which we just made a video for, which should be out. I'm hoping next week or the week after.
On YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube,
probably.
and we'll have it out on Facebook and everything. But Mike Simon's Productions did the video, and Lou Barella for what's his Greasy Pictures. He did the editing, so we're hoping to have it next week. But we did it live at the Saint, and you do a show at the Saint, and a place holds 150 people. We had a video shoot and just said, "Hey, can some people
show
just
up,
show up?"
hang out.
And it was
We had a great time. It turned
what a great crowd. It was crazy. And at one point, we just invited people on stage, and we were playing, and just all the people that were in the crowd were on the stage. We had all the strobes going.
yeah,
We
it
just
was
said, you know
fun.
what? We
It was
want you to
fun.
be in the video, not just us.
Yeah.
So it was great. But back to Darren. To do a show like that, and it's all local musicians. And sometimes local musicians don't get along, but this scene seems to have a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
To stand up there and sing the songs off our record, and we did a half an hour, and to have local musicians who have their own music, who are doing their own things, singing the lyrics back at you
Yeah, I was
when you're playing, it's amazing. It's amazing to me that people, they know our songs, and they sing them back to us, and they know the words, and it blows my mind. They request them on local radio stations and stuff like that. I'm still shocked that 3 years ago we just said, "Hey, let's go jam," and now we're Colossal Street Jam again.
Oh, and it's not going to stop. I mean,
we have no
we
plans.
Have
We have no plans to stop
I
it.
have so much stuff that, like, the past few months, I've been so inspired that I finally had some time off from running my business. Winter times, I have a little time down, and I was getting up every morning, and literally, I was doing my apple cider vinegar with water every day.
There you go.
I take a pint glass of water. I put a nice dip of apple cider vinegar. I sit down and I do my little routine. I have my little scales that I warm up in the morning, 20 minutes, and I do that. And what was happening was this 20 minutes was turning into like an hour and a half every morning. You know, it's 6:30 in the morning. Amazingly, if you try to write really early in the morning, it's actually a really good time because you haven't gone out and there's no other outside influence. You have done nothing.
No distractions.
Yeah. So, and a lot of times I fall asleep to music always, and what happens is stuff will be in my head as I'm sleeping, and and some wacky stuff because I'll put some crazy stuff on and I'll just fall asleep, and all of a sudden, it's embedded in there, and it's like almost subliminal, and then I wake up and I'm like.
You don't ever fall asleep to Helter Skelter, do you?
No, I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. It usually I'll start out with like the 70 station on my Fios, right? And then I'll wake up like, I'll go, and then I'll get a few like, have you ever been mellow? And I'm like, I'm like, can't do this. And then I'll put the classic rock station. That's when I'll go deep. And sometimes what's fun? Deep. Oh yeah, like they'll play some like in the Court of the Crimson King. When was it? They never play that on the radio. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, this is unbelievable, and then I wake up and like I said, I was doing this and this went on for months. It's unbelievable. If I were able to do this all the time, I could safely say I could put 3 to 5 songs a week together without, and they would all be different. Our goal now is actually not to put out another record. We want to start doing 6-song EPs because I want them to be thematic. I want us to have like the next 6 songs to be this thing. Then I want us to do an acoustic EP because I have a bunch of great stuff like Zeppelin 3 influence stuff, very early Neil Young type stuff. I'm like, instead of
but why EPs? Other than
why? Because because I'd rather get. I think the focus when you're trying to make a record, everyone tries to keep everything within like the parameter of whatever they want that record to sound like.
Okay.
I think by doing 6-song EPs. You can go in and do a feel for 6 songs, and then you can go on and do something completely different. And I think that it'll be better represented in an EP to do it that way than it would to put out 11 or 12 dominantly electric songs, say.
Now, I'm going to give you a lot of people come in here and say that between here and Rock on Radio, they come in and they say, well, we're only doing EPs because people's attention span isn't that long these days, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to give you 2 perspectives, and I think we talked about this. 2 weeks ago, I was very fortunate enough to interview Ann Wilson.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's great.
I tried to get on that show at the Bergen Pack. I tried so hard.
Oh, what a sweetheart. What a sweetheart. Talk to me about that after, actually. Anyway, she is, incredible. And I said to her, you've put out EPs the last 2 times instead of a full length. And she said, well, honestly, she said people's attention spans just aren't what they used to be. She said, I would rather put out 3 or 4 really good tunes instead of 10 or 12 mediocre ones. And I said, well, first of all, it kind of surprises me that you think you would put out mediocre material, given your, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame stature.
Absolutely.
And I said, but also, I'm going to tell you, and this was the other perspective, when I interviewed Martha Davis of the Motels.
Yeah.
And then she had the show at Jenks, in Point Pleasant. And she said to me, she said, Danny, she said, can you imagine if the Beatles or the Stones put out just EPs, or she said, can you imagine just going to a site and only downloading 1 or 2 songs off the Beatles' White Album?
I know.
Or off of Rolling Stones' Sticky Fingers?
Yeah.
She says, if I'm making a 10-song disc or an 8-song disc, a full-length CD, and people are only downloading 1 or 2 tunes, I need to make a better album.
Yeah, you got to get better songs.
And so it's like it's
no, it goes both ways. I just think musically, I think we're gonna venture out musically, and I think that by doing it with the EP idea now will allow us to change. I have so much different stuff to bring to these guys, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do them in blocks, and I think that also we don't have the benefit of having a record company or a lot of disposable money, so. I can't sit there and record. We're recording every day, and then say, let's pick the best songs out of these 15. Our work ethic is really good. We come in and work on songs, and then we're like rabid dogs on the song, and we don't waste. Like, that's what I'm saying about album fillers. I don't believe that about the album fillers. Like, our CD, I really believe gives a good spectrum of what we do.
It's very diverse.
It's diverse. You have your poppy stuff, but you have the bluesy stuff. There's enough of it all in there. But I think that to be Colossal Street Jam, to be something big that sounds different, I think it might be a good idea to try to do this.
I have 2 questions along those lines. Number one, how'd you guys come up with that name?
It's a great name
for the people.
You know who it was? My very good friend, who is actually, his name is John DiMaggio. He is the voice of Bender on Futurama.
He's also
That's right. I forgot about him.
He just Madagascar.
He just got an Oscar. They just got an Oscar for Zootopia, which he was one of the voices on. So one time he came to a rehearsal and he goes, "You guys are all over the place. One song sounds like Humble Pie. One song sounds like Zeppelin. This sounds like Grand Funk. This sounds like the Beatles. It's like a street jam. It's like a He basically was throwing words up in the air, and about 7 or 8 words. I'm like, that sounds sick. Colossal Street Jam. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. So that was 1990. He's a Rutgers. He went to Rutgers. He went to was Mason Gross, the drama, the acting school at Rutgers.
He had a show on MTV for a while too.
Did he?
Which I got to go on. Red Johnny and the Round Guy.
Johnny and the Round Guy.
There's still some stuff up there. They had a show. Oh, they're funny. They were a comedy duo. These guys were hilarious. And you know what happens. You don't make it big enough. You start fighting. They went their separate ways. Johnny went into voiceover work. And his career exploded.
He's a great guy. Then you can't.
Good for him.
You can't breathe when you're around him.
Oh, he's so funny. He is a 6'3" red Italian guy. So it's kind of weird to see, because when you look at him, you're like, he's Scottish. He's Scottish, and then he's John DiMaggio. No, he's Italian, and he's big, and he's just I was actually with him about 3 weeks ago. He finally came in from California, and I got to meet his wife, who I hadn't met yet. He just got married about 3 years ago, and he took me to the Stones exhibit, which was phenomenal. Oh my God, I could have been there for like 12 hours. They were like, "Come on, dude." I'm like, there was a section where you could mix songs.
Really?
You put your headphones on, and there's a board in front of you, and Miss You's on.
Where's this at?
It's in
Manhattan.
Yeah, it's in the. It's in Chelsea, I believe.
And soon, right?
In New York City. New York City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really cool. I was able to mix songs the way I wanted to hear them. So I put Miss You up. I'm like, take mixed vocals out. What's Ron Wood doing? Take Keith's guitars out.
Oh,
Listen.
that's cool.
Ooh, that's interesting. What's this? So they give you a chance to actually mix songs.
Oh, that's something.
Really
I didn't
cool.
know that.
I would have been there for like 3 hours. They're like, "Come on, dude, we got dinner." I'm like, "We're at the Rolling Stone show, man."
Yeah.
Then at the end, you put 3D glasses on and you watch a performance from their perspective on a stage in front of probably 80,000 people in a stadium, and it's in 3D.
Oh,
and
wow.
it is. I have goose pimples thinking about it. I got to see what Keith Richards watches when he's doing
he's playing,
this.
yeah.
Was
And
the inside of his eyelids?
Oh, I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was just, it's such an amazing experience to see. And I couldn't imagine the feeling of playing in front of 50, 80,000 people.
I often talk about
my
that
God.
with a lot of my guests, what that is like to play in front of
Oh, my God.
Quickly, excuse me, before we go to break, name me an album.
Okay.
I talked about the White Album, and I talked about Sticky Fingers. Name me an album that influenced. Go with you, Gene.
Okay.
Name me an album that influenced you, where every tune was like that.
Closer to Home.
Okay.
Grand Funk.
Man, didn't even think twice. That came out
Yeah,
before I even had my
that's
coffee.
one of those-
Mark Farner's that's my idol.
Oh, really?
Yeah, vocally, that's my idol.
Okay.
There's Prince, there's Paul Rodgers, but ultimately, the number one is Mark Farner. I'm a huge fan. I've met him several times. At this day and age, 68 years old, still blows almost everybody away. Yeah. So that record is a big record for me. Just the songwriting, the vocals, just everything about it.
Wow. How about you, Sal?
It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough call. I would say it's a toss up between the Stones' Exile on Main Street, because that's one of those albums where, you know, when you read about where they were in France, how they managed to get this record done, and then when you listen to the record and where it goes, I would say Exile on Main Street would be one, and then that would probably battle with the first Zeppelin record and the first Doors album. I would say in those three is pretty much where I would say most of my energy influence comes in that. You know, of course, Hendrix is. It's hard for me because I really, the artists that I love, I really, really love them. So I think all my influences have at least one album where I can, you know, we can still ramble. Moondance, that album, there's not a bad song.
I could
There's
listen
not
to
a bad
Moondance
song on that record.
and never get tired. Led Zeppelin 4,
Same thing. You go
Physical Graffiti. I could listen to.
It's amazing. Back to your thing about imagine if Zeppelin was putting out EPs and they weren't putting out, you know, and I understand that point of it, but I understand Ann's description of people's brains now are not wired. Everything's real quick, and I understand it. That's why
she actually told me that she thought that she had a little bit of an identity crisis when she goes out on her own. She's like, people know Heart, they know the sisters,
right.
Yeah.
But Ann Wilson is kind of like generic, you know. It could be
right. When you see the two of them together, you know it's that.
Right, you know it's Heart.
They could be walking down the street, and you're like, oh, that's Heart. That's
right.
You're right.
I wanted to real briefly, and I know you got to do a break, but real briefly back to the EP thing and my thoughts on it, and Sal's ideas and his thoughts on it. I do agree with him, but for me, I think we waited so long to put an 11 song out that we do have people that are interested in our music, and I think the sooner we get something out, the better for them.
Sure.
The better for them, and the better for us.
Well, you were talking about Zeppelin. They did Zeppelin 1 and 2 within 18 months. You know.
I mean, the Doors' first album, Strange Days, came out before the end of that year. Most of those songs on the first three Doors albums, they were pretty much written when they did their first album, which is another amazing thing when you look at those bands that like Creedence, in like a 5-year period, they put out X amount of albums. You're like, really? And they toured the whole time.
And they were all hits.
Grand Funk too. 12 albums in 7 years.
Right?
And they, all right, guys.
You have to.
I can't take you guys anywhere.
You have to keep your eyes open for the next charity CD, and look, it's already arrived.
Yeah.
From the Downtown All-Stars of Red Bank. Magic on the Navasink will feature original works by such artists as Colossal Street Jam.
I know those guys.
Strawberry Pie.
Dawn Hopkins, DJ Pinelli, John Hathaway, and more. Magic on the Navasink is produced to benefit the Red Bank Elks Lodge number 233 Veteran Support Programs. Downtown All-Stars' first compilation disc, Bright Lights on Broad Street, was in support of Little Kids Rock, which provided free music instruction and instruments to underserved public school districts across the United States. It's available on the Downtown All-Stars website and from select retailers. Are you a select retailer?
Yes, I am.
There you go.
There you go. See?
The Downtown All-Stars of Red Bank, LLC, is a collective of local musicians, that's you guys, and musicians, and I lost my place, and performing artists bound together to raise both funds and awareness for charity and worthy causes using the immeasurable power of music. You can find them at redbankallstars.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/redbankallstars. And they do, you know, like you said, Darren does great stuff there, you know. There's so many people. I actually looked at the lineup this year. And usually whenever there's something like that going on, I look and I see and I'm like, yeah, okay, boom, 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 boom. Oh, yeah, I know everybody. Mm-hmm. This year there's a few bands I haven't heard of yet.
Who was the show?
Shady Street Show Band.
Shady Street. Well, I've heard of them guys. I've seen them before.
Awesome. I was like, I was sitting there like stuck to them. I was like, this is awesome.
I really enjoyed that. We saw them at the Asbury Park Music Awards also.
Yeah.
They had played right before us. Or did they play after us? I don't remember.
Yeah,
they were
you
great.
guys,
awesome.
Do you have a favorite local band? Or a band that you really enjoy listening to?
We never get to go.
Not necessarily more than others. Well,
we never get out. We're always
I actually just said this last night to Kenny Dubman. I said,
we love
his record's excellent.
Oh my God,
and he's such a great,
unbelievable,
great guitar player, man. I mean,
his vocals on that record.
I know. I was blown away when I first. I'm like, who's singing? He's like, me. I'm like, what?
He's going to be on a show with us.
Oh, and I said to Kenny, I said, I said, you have a bittersweet situation where you're from. He said, what's that? I said, well, you've got so many talented, fantastic musicians playing in your area. The only problem is they're all playing the same time you are, and it's like, who do you go see?
Right.
So
I know that's the only problem we run into, which is really,
and that's why we put the bands that we want to see on the shows that we're playing.
Yeah, it's like the show at the House of Independence. We'll have Kenny's going to be doing an actual full band.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Sal.
Okay.
That's going to be a
you've
great.
Picked up an endorsement.
Aureola Guitars.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know what? Lou Vito. Now he's like my brother. It's funny. We met and we started talking. We spent the whole night together doing the video for the NAMM booth, and we started talking about, oh, you know this guy. Oh, I know this guy. You know this guy. By the end of the night, we had a connection to people that we both knew for 30 years. And I'm like, how do we not meet each other? Being that he's from up in Somerset, we're from down here. Unless you're famous, you kind of don't always mingle. But he said, "Listen, I want you to try one of these guitars." And he gave me one at Mario. He gave me one of those like Les Paul Junior looking ones, and the yellow. I love that yellow color. That one. So I went home, played it. I was like, "This is interesting guitar." Jammed it for a while, gave it back to him. He calls me and says, "Listen, why don't you come up and we'll shoot the video for the NAMM booth, and we'd like to have you guys play our guitars." I'm like, no problem. I'm like, I'll do that without a problem. So I got to go up there and I got to see like a whole room of guitars, and it's a great thing. So that night it's going to be sponsored by Aureola Guitars.
Yeah. Okay. And it's actually the celebration of him being endorsed by Aureola.
And it's when?
April 28th.
At the House of Independence.
Is
that the old Oscars?
I don't know.
And how come nobody knows?
It's on.
That's what I keep asking. I asked Kenny last night.
It's on Cookman.
I know it's on Cookman.
Yeah.
And Kenny described the old Oscars because there's a bar that's up top and like all the tables are
there is
there.
up top.
So that might be it.
Yeah. So that we have.
That's gonna be and Frankenstein 3000.
Frankenstein
right?
3000's on that. That's Keith Roth from XM Radio, Electric Ballroom.
Nice.
But he also has Pete Marshall in the band now, who played guitar for Iggy Pop.
Okay.
So, and then you have Bitter Crush, which is
Lou Vito from Aureola Guitars.
And Lou was, for a brief time, was in the Whirling Dervishes also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was one of my favorite bands when we were playing in the 90s. I used to love that band. That singer was outstanding.
Keyboard player Billy.
I don't know their names.
Yeah.
Did. I actually broadcast when I was broadcasting Pat Denizio from Langosta Lounge.
Oh yeah, he was doing that
Thursday nights,
Confessions of a Rock Star Thursday nights, and we did him from November through April for like 6 months.
Nice. He's
Every
a great
Thursday
guy.
night.
He's
Well, my friend Rick Winnow is now his sidekick. He he
great.
tours with Pat, so he used to have a different local opening act every time, and one night it was the two of the guys from the Whirling Dervishes.
That's awesome.
So
wow.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fun night.
Well,
too.
that's going to be a great show, and we have
We're gonna be
not confirmed, but there's some special guest guitar players that are going to be sitting in. Some guys that we played with recently, hopefully, will be joining us. There's some of the opening bands have people that are going to be sitting in with them. So it's going to just be great guitar players on.
is there tickets for this show?
Yeah,
where do we
they
get
just
them?
went on sale. House of Independence today. They're $15 in advance, and then we'll have some too sometime in the near future. But that show is going to be great. We actually have a lot of good shows. March 10th, which is this Friday, we're at Crossroads in Garwood. Got it backwards. Crossroads in Garwood, and we're with Bitter Crush, and we're with Guilty Pleasure, which features Scott Elk,
who's also on the
record.
Right.
And Scott's a great singer and also a good friend. And then the 22nd, we have the Teak Rooftop. April 1st, we're at 10th Street Live in Kenilworth.
Oh, in Kenilworth.
Yeah.
Okay.
April 28th is that show, the House of Independence. And then we're in Delaware in June, and we're in Philly in July. So
What are you doing in Philly?
we are doing Whiskey Tango.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Where's that in Philly?
That's off of
Whiskey.
Bustleton.
Yeah.
Oh, Bustleton Point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually played there.
Yeah.
A few years back, but I've actually.
There's a
played
bunch of local bands from that area, and then a couple bands from just across the bridge into Jersey that are going to be on it. And we just struck up a friendship with the band Stone Baby. I don't know if you ever heard of Stone Baby. They're a very good band.
I've heard of them.
They
I'm
played
not
with us
familiar
the one night.
They play with us
and
at
we
the
got along
Sing.
great.
They're actually on our CD release party.
Oh,
Yep.
good.
So they're returning the favor. They're bringing us out there. So that should be a good show. I'm
Now-
excited because I grew up in that area. So.
Now you mentioned going out California also.
Yeah,
and so
we're
on
gonna
and so
try.
forth.
We're trying.
Are you setting it up as like on your own,
Oh yeah.
or are you? Well,
no, this will all be on. I mean, unless
well,
somebody
no,
gets involved.
What I was going to say is I had a young artist in here, a fellow by the name of Colton Kaiser, who said the only reason why he gets to tour and do shows like that is because he's befriended these bands, be it on Facebook or through music sites. Excuse me, where when they're looking to come east, he'll set them up with either a house concert,
which is happening a lot
or a
now.
show
There are a
here,
couple bands that I've talked to.
and then vice versa out there.
The things that I'm setting up, I have a DJ contact, believe it or not, out in Austin that is trying to hook us up. And then out in California, we're hoping that, Sal's connections might be able to get us out there. But we're talking to several people, different bands. Just we're trying to do whatever we can.
Where are you going? Southern California or Northern California?
We're hoping in the LA area.
Yeah, probably in LA area.
So like the whiskey or.
Well, that'd be great. I'd love to even just to walk in there. I mean, I did years ago, but it'd be nice to.
It's all in the beginning process. So we're talking with people, and it's also because of the way our lives are. He owns a business. We all have careers. We have to make it work.
Right.
Go out for 3 days, maybe a week. We're looking at Key West in
September.
In September, so that's going to be interesting.
Be a week playing down there.
It's going to be interesting.
Oh boy! I'll make sure
Yeah.
for a week all I do is drink water for 1 week. I don't know. When I hear about Key West, I'm like, oh boy.
We're just trying to make it just move forward. We can play Asbury till we're blue in the face, and we love Asbury. It's our home, but we have to venture out.
Do you find that bands now? You guys step outside of your comfort zone all the time, but I also know of a handful of bands from your area. They don't seem so willing to do that. They're great in that area because they got there 40 or 50 people who come see them regularly, and you guys are great.
At this point in our lives, and I'm sure most of them are our age or maybe approaching our age, you got so much going on. You have a family, you have a job, you have and to be close to home, and if you can still draw people and the places still want you to come in, and you're not looking to set the world on fire, then why not?
Well, that's fine.
But I love playing for people who've never seen me. And that makes you play better.
Yeah.
But isn't that the true test though, to find out
Yeah.
exactly how
that
good
one night
you are?
we played at the Red Lion one night. Just our friend's band was playing, and we were again a return to favor. He played with us. He gave us a gig up at the Red Lion with him.
And then we were getting Dave in the loop too, because Dave had just joined.
Okay.
So we needed some gigs. So we went and we played up there, and that was
People were like grabbing my
great response.
Dude, what label? I'm like, I label
Jack Daniels.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, but that, like you said, that's what you need. You need to play to people who don't know who you are.
And a perfect example of that is I make chili. Okay, I won a couple chili contests in my area. I thought, well, you know what? That's great. It's friends, it's family, it's people who know me.
What about out there, though? Right.
Let's see. So I went north to Woodbridge. I won. I went south to Mount Holly. I won.
There you go.
Okay, I got something here now. People like this no matter where I go.
Right, that's great.
So I often wonder why bands don't go that same route and think, you know what? We're pretty good, but
that's what we're trying.
Let's push the envelope a little bit.
That's the plan, and
You
it's
can't
just
eat the band.
Well,
If she's hot, they can.
We'll get back to that horse.
it sounds reading my mind.
It's time to bring up the horse.
It's time to bring up the horse.
That's a good way to segue into it. Chili to the horse.
People, we will let you know somehow about the horse story. I promise.
I'm sorry, I know about the horse.
Yeah, I already. Mario and I were.
I don't think I know about the horse story.
Now, for those of you at home, again, this is One More with Danny Coleman. I'm Danny Coleman. That's Sal Maher. G-Pot's Colossal Street Jam. This is Mario DiBartolo, the owner of this fine establishment,
That's right.
Monmouth Music, right here in Red Bank, New Jersey. But you know that Mario is one of the what?
I keep hearing about this horse.
No.
No,
That's all
Trust
fair.
me. Trust me.
Yeah.
Mario.
We're trying to run a reputable business here. No more horses.
There's a horse rail outside. You can tie it up to. Mario is one of the finest guitar players.
You always
in the
say
state.
that. That's very nice of you.
You are.
Thank you.
You just played 2 sold-out shows at Kelsey Theater, Mercer County.
Yeah.
Mercer County Community College, whatever it holds, 400 or 500 people.
About 5, yeah.
And with the Rock and Roll Review, and I mean, Tommy is just insane with the things that he does. And
There's 13 pieces in this line.
13-piece band, they just presented Steely Dan's Asia.
Oh my
that's
God!
awesome.
Which is what a record.
Yeah, it's a great record.
So you know that the players he associates with have got to be talented.
Oh, absolutely.
So what you're saying is he's going to come on March 22nd. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, we're jamming. You're coming.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Yeah.
Some of the horn guys are from down here on this lineup. Lars went. I think he's from down. Arn Wentz.
Oh yeah,
Arnie.
Arnie
his
Wentz,
brother.
yeah.
He was on the
Arnie's
trombone.
awesome.
Yeah,
Great
great
player and
player.
a great guy. Lot
Joe
of fun.
Grillo from.
Joe Grillo's
I
from
think he's a
Ewing,
Motor
right?
City something. No,
The
those-
Motor
But
City
the band
Review.
that he-
Yeah. Joe did all the charts for the horns. It was trumpet, trombone,
That's
2
awesome.
saxes.
That's Leon Holmes' band, Motor City Review.
Yeah, that's Joe. He owns G-Force. He books out like 3 bands at a time or whatever.
Oh, okay, great.
But then there was like 3 keys. Wow. 2 backup singers, Lisa Bouchel.
Yeah, I know the name. Sure.
Lisa does it with us all the time. Jerry Steele was a pedal steel.
He plays with Lisa
And the
Sharman.
guitar,
Oh,
did
okay.
the Bonnie Raitt show. He's a pedal steel guy. A lot of early Steely Dan had pedal steel
Yeah.
in it. And
Did Jeff do it?
Jeff.
Did Skunk Baxter
Yeah,
do all the
he did it. Yeah,
right?
yeah. So the first half of the show is like medleys of the first 5 or 6 albums.
nice.
Second half of the show is Asia.
Tell me you do Bodhisattva.
Of course, that was the opening number. You want to get blown out of a cannon as the guitar player?
Oh, that
First
is
song,
that
lights
is-
go on. Doom, doom, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that was a wake up.
It's
Yeah.
almost like that Batman
Yeah.
theme, like sexy 60s guitar feel. What a great song.
Yeah, that was the opening song. Yeah.
Look, I got goose pimples. See what happens. This is a true musician right here. When you speak about songs and
And when the
arms
piano
line up-
part comes,
It's so
okay,
great.
I'm ready. Yeah, after
That's
that song.
amazing.
Who played that, Tommy or Bud?
No, that was Tommy.
Tommy.
And then I answered with the guitar part, but Tommy was in.
That's unbelievable.
We used
Opening
Michael
song?
Byrne. That was the opening.
Openings.
Michael Burnaby, Gary
Wow.
Burnaby's son, did a lot of the piano on the Asia second half of the show with Tommy and Bud,
Bud.
because he's like a jazz monster.
That's
this kid.
awesome, man. And you know,
It was a cool
Steely
show.
Dan's music is just—it's so awesome. When I started playing guitar, that was one of the bands that I would listen to and be like, what are these chords? You know, and then going through it and then actually researching the people like Elliot Randall.
Yeah.
That solo in Reeling in the Years.
Yeah. Larry Carlton.
Jimmy Page said that is his favorite electric guitar solo. That Elliot Randall. It's a perfectly placed solo that he plays. Actually, all his on that song. Elliot Randall's playing is amazing. You know,
Danny
the drummer
Diaz.
Johnny Markowski plays with.
I don't know why you're pointing at me.
No, Johnny Markowski plays with.
You're guilty.
They're from around here. What's the band that he plays with? Well, Johnny Markowski's father was one of the writers who wrote This Magic Moment. His father was a big writer.
For the Drifters?
This magic.
That's was Jane the Americans, I believe,
think you're
had
right.
a first hit with it, but it's been
They
covered a
did
million
the
times.
Drifters. I know Jane Americans had it.
Yeah,
We're
but
caught
anyway,
on this side of the table. We can't.
Johnny Markowski's father got Elliot Randall to play guitar on his demo when we were kids, and I said, he goes, "Guess who played guitar on that?" I'm like, "You?" He's like, "No, Elliot Randall." I'm like, "How the hell did you get Elliot Randall to play?" Well, my dad knows him. I'm like, "Dude, are you kidding me?" So still to this day, the Steely Dan stuff is just the playing is just.
Donald Fagen grew up in Kendall Park.
right? Well, he was born in Passaic, wasn't he?
No, he was
That's
born in
you
New
know,
York, but they moved to
they
Kendall
moved.
Park. when he was a
Sometimes I
kid.
sit back and I just look at all the talented musicians
That came out of this
or even
tri-state.
actors.
Yeah,
and
that came out of this
actresses
tri-state. It's
that
amazing.
come out of these 3 counties, you know. But we're getting close to having to wrap it up.
All right.
fellas. So again, one more time, your websites and social media and
www.colossalstreetjam.com, cdbaby.com/colossalstreetjam for the record. Also Reverb Nation, Colossal Street Jam. What else? Facebook. We're on Facebook. We have a Twitter. I don't update it as much as I should, but yeah, we're everywhere. Amazon Music, iTunes, Apple Music,
Spotify.
Spotify. Yeah.
You have your own channel, or are you just part of a?
Oh, we have. Yeah, there's a channel.
Okay.
When you go through CD Baby, they help you set all that stuff up. So it's
Great.
good. And the real cool thing that we have going on and is DjangoMusic.com. You can go
what's
there.
that all about?
It's an international internet radio station.
Okay.
And it groups you in with bands that you sound like. So right now we have 6,000 listens overseas, they have to listen to a minute of the song to have it
To
register
register?
as so.
That's a long
and,
time
And
for
we've
somebody
made
to
and
listen
we've
to the
made we've made a couple hundred fans. People are sending us emails. They're buying records. So it's really cool. That's a really cool thing that's going on.
And I want to Nash. Can you get a shot of that, Nash? Yeah. There you go. Colossal
There
Street
you
Jam.
go.
The official T-shirt of Colossal Street Jam. Buy their merch.
Made by Lou Barella, by the way.
Yes.
Lou made this.
Lou
Lou
made it.
Barella made
Ah,
it.
there
you
Lou,
go.
he
Hey,
made
thanks,
our album.
Lou.
Made our album cover. He's also the editor for the new video.
Fantastic.
So those are available on the site and also at our shows.
Great. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
You got it.
And Nash, what am I supposed to do with this?
You want a table? Yeah.
It's cool. All right,
It's
we'll
like
put
a
the
bulletproof hat.
it's either that or it's taking.
Thursday and a Stones pin on there somewhere.
There's a Rolling Stones pin on here. Oh God! Don't say that in front of Sal.
Oh man.
He's gonna take it.
Oh, there it is.
He'll be
I
wearing
got
that
it.
hat
Except
before you
it's-
know it.
Except it says exhibitionism. It does.
Wow.
Look at that, Sal. It's right there in the middle, next to the CKY. So if you're just clicking on
does.
this, is
Wow. All right.
this is
this out.
One More with Danny Coleman. Once again, if there's anything you want to hear or see us do on this program,
That looks like a horse.
within reason, that's not going to get me arrested. Please email me at dcoleman.drice, D-R-I-C-E, dcoleman.drice@gmail.com. You're going to tell me about this horse now after we get off the
Swore I
air.
would never
You told Sal.
discuss it.
Yeah, stop horsing around.
Come here.
Stop horsing around.
Hey, there we go.
Boy, we got a
Download
job for
cards.
him.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
boy.
Hey, he's in the
Go like
fertilizer
this.
business.
Go like
Oh
this.
yeah,
Put your arm out. Put your
this a
arm out.
whole nother
Hold on.
fertilizing
What?
business.
What?
I think
He could do it.
I think you can.
Yeah, I think he could do it.
I know.
I'm not going to be the
I know
horse-
what we're talking
the
about
horse
now.
veterinarian.
That's an Amish mechanic,
That's three again.
right? Amish mechanic. The guy with his arm halfway up a horse's rear end is called an Amish
Amish
mechanic.
mechanic, right? Now, why would you not want to go out and see these guys? Colossal
we can share
Street
a few
Jam.
jokes.
Yeah.
We can have a few drinks together. You buy, of course.
And then
You buy it.
we're off
They
to
bring a real horse.
Do that.
Yeah,
Wow. All right. Well, that's
nothing
okay.
wrong with that.
Not a thing. Perfect. How we doing there on time, Nash?
Whenever
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Killing
We got
him.
them all shook up.
Killing him.
We're killing them. Tom,
It's a birthday
good
boy.
job, buddy. That's Tom
Awesome.
back there. See? Say hi to Tom.
The camera's
What's up, Tom?
There we go. All right. Well, I'm going to get up, and Mario's going to
Get up.
get up with me, and you guys are going to set up.
And
Get
play.
up, set up. Okay.
Get
Set
up.
up for the night.
All right.
We're going to do that
With the pony.
with the
With the horse.
with
All
the
right,
horse.
we're gonna have to give the horse story up.
The
We're gonna have
pony
to-
became a
We're gonna have to
horse.
talk about the one-trick pony there, and we're gonna come on. Whoa, we got stuck. We're stuck here.
Do you want to stand it up or are we good here?
No, you're good.
We're good here?
No, you
You
gotta
want us up
stand
there?
up.
Oh, they want
You have
us
to
up
go
there.
over to the microphone, my friends. And I'm gonna stand at this microphone, which Matt. You gotta love live
stand up, Sal.
YouTube or whatever that is there.
Stand up.
Yeah.
Established in 1987, Monmouth Music is
grab my,
located in
you
the
know,
center
let me grab,
of historic Red Bank. For 30 years, Monmouth has served the local and traveling musician with brand name instruments and accessories at everyday low prices. Monmouth Music also welcomes aspiring students of all levels with a broad selection of affordable instruments, including school orchestra instruments for both sale and rental. Monmouth Music provides lessons of all levels by their long-tenured music teaching staff. In addition to providing brand name instruments and complete lesson plans, Monmouth Music is home to Bob Pinto's Guitar Hospital, specializing in string instrument repairs. There's also an in-house professional amplifier repair service by BP Electronics. Monmouth Music is owner-operated, as you saw and met Mario every week here on OneMore with Danny Coleman. Sorry, shameless self-promotion. Which ensures that you will get professional and personal service every day. So, come to Red Bank and visit Monmouth Music. We'll make the trip. You won't be disappointed. And the good thing about Monmouth Music is that whoever's at the Count Basie Theater, which is only a block and a half down the street, whoever's at the Count Basie tends to stop in here. Every day I open up my Facebook account, I see Mario with somebody different. One day it's Zach Wilde. He said, who else has stopped in here? Debbie Harry has stopped in here. Some members of the E Street Band have stopped in here. Mario, who stops in your store? he deserted me.
Ricky Skaggs, I saw it.
Ricky Skaggs,
Yeah.
that's who it was. Yep, Ricky Skaggs was in
Another
here just
great
the other
musician.
day. So
Man.
whoever's at the Count Basie Theater tends to pop on down the street and comes in to visit Mario. So you never know who's going to be here when you show up. So once again, we are, you guys ready?
We're ready.
You all set? There you go. I am going to give you now two of the best guys around, Sal and Gene of Colossal Street Jam.
To you I give this song. Still I'm in need of your love. The melody that you share with me is so fine. Even in my dreams I can hear you call. It really matters to me if you wait too long. And promise me you'll never stop singing your song. Songbird, sing me a song. Not too short, not too long. Songbird, the darkest days of winter, you hide the hurt. The dark days of summer, all you give them word. And never in my life did I plan for you to come. Songbird, sing me a song. Not too short, not too long. Songbird, side of the road. I imagine your sound, 'cause it's in my soul. As long as we stay together, I will play the role. And I will, I will, I will, I will. And songbird, sing me a song. Not too short, not too long. Songbird, sing me a song. Not too short, not too long. Thank you. That is called Songbird off the new record. And we're going to try something that we've never tried before. We are going to play the title track of the new record, Living Free Acoustic. So this should be interesting. Well, I remember thinking to myself how wonderful life could be. No one could tell me otherwise. Though sometimes the blind can see. She was the very first one, so perfect and so green. Found me looking for myself, just the right way to make me feel. Even though many years have gone, still I find it easy to see. Living life, I'm laying back and I'm living free. So here we go, another story. This tale ain't nothing new. You wake up only to find those flashing signs are blinding you. Sometimes I sit myself and wonder, what did I do to get me through? Gotta take just what the doctor ordered, more or less a daydream or two. And even though many years have gone, still I find it easy to see. I'm living life, I'm laying back and I'm living free. Yes, I'm living free, babe. You know I'm not saying we're all the same. Sit back, living in that dream. And as the clouds begin to break, you rise above those dreams. Even though many years have gone, still I find it easy to see. I'm living life, I'm laying back and I'm living free. Yes, I'm living free, baby. I'm living free, yeah. You know, sometimes just sit back living in my dream, yeah. Living life, I'm living free. I'm laying back, I'm living free, yeah. I'm living life, I'm laying back, I'm living life. There you go.
All right.
Colossal Street Jam.
Thank you.
Sal and Gene. Thank
Awesome.
you, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys. These guys are great. Now, look, I'm over there perusing this. So far, I've gotten, there you go, from your new fan, Helen O'Shea. So far, so great. Love these guys. Hashtag new fan. Hashtag Jack Daniels endorsement.
Yeah.
There you go, Tennessee. Now, those of you who may have seen my Facebook Live video, no, Joe, I am not going to a lumberjack wedding. That was one of the comments I got. But those of you who may have seen my Facebook Live video wonder why I may be dressed like this tonight. You know, I had to go formal, you know, because it's a special event, Matt. It is Nash, the glue that holds this program together. Nash. It is his birthday today.
Yeah.
And he is the self-professed god of flannel. Wow. Nash. Right, Nash? The god. You're not just, you are the god. So here it is, Nash. Your favorite beverage, along with a number in your age.
Here, look, how about this?
There you go. That might even be the right way, Sal. You got that?
It is, right?
That's right. So
Make a wish, brother.
that is for Nash, the man of mystery. That's right. That's it.
All right.
So,
Happy birthday to you.
happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Nash. Happy birthday to
There you go. See? Now, after this, Nash will have to go next door to the Dublin house and further their chances at a Jack Daniels endorsement. See?
you. Coming. I think it's coming.
So, all right, guys. Next week, I'm very excited about this show because we have Soph. She used to be Sophia Nicole. Now she is Soph. She will be coming in. She's got a new sound, a very mature sound, and she is doing great, actually. And she will be coming in. She's released 2 songs in a row from her forthcoming. She's got like an EP. It's kind of hard. She's releasing singles one at a time. So she's going to be doing that. And she'll be here. She's released 2 so far, both world premieres on Rock On Radio, actually. And I'm excited to have her here on One More with Danny Coleman. So, next week, we will be back. And until then, one more.